All right, so we're now this week 6 pre-selection show. On the bottom, we got Grady back for his second week in a row, and we got Trevor Williams, who currently top trainer in Miami Fair, 59% win percentage. So his insights, I'm sure, are going to help all the bettors out a lot. Thanks, guys, for joining me today.
Thank you.
No problem.
So yeah, if we're going to go to race number 1, we'll kick it off with Trevor. Who do you like in this one?
Well, first race is a little bit interesting. It's mostly 2-year-olds with a couple, I guess, older horses on the outside. I battled with the 2-year-olds, but I ended up going to Roland's horse Flying on My Own. It's hard to pick a horse that, has been to the gate in 4 times and broke 3 of them. But if you look at the one start, he did stay flat. It was Dean who drove him. I think maybe Dean has some experience on the horse at the farm, so probably knows him better than anybody. So I'm going to say Dean stays flat, paces a mile in and around, 2.4, 2.5, and probably enough to win in here. So Flying on My Own winner. Another one you got to kind of keep an eye on is Ricky Ray's filly, Sky's Little Spunk. An interesting note there, she is eligible to the 2-year-old stake that's later in the day, but opted to stay away from the better 2-year-olds to race for the maiden money, $1,700. So obviously a little bit of tactic there. Obviously think she has a better shot against some maidens. So I'll go with her second. And another one that's really progressing is Winds of Winter along the inside. Probably just as fast as all these colts and seems to be getting it better every week. So I'll go with 6-2-1.
Awesome. Sounds good. What about you, Grady?
I went with 2-1-4. I like the post position with the 2 Sky's Little Spunk. And when I watched the races last week, one driver that I was actually impressed with was Michelle Ray. I thought that he drove most of the horses really well. So I put Sky's Little Spunk on top. Also 3 starts in the top 3 every single time. So I like that as well in this young group of horses. For second, I went to the 2 Winds of Winter, was third in his last start. So I like that. And Tyler Grundy driving gets post 1. Hard to go against for second. And I didn't know who to go with for third, but I did land on the 4 Go On Bobo. Shows some consistent miles, making some checks, some 4ths and 5ths. So I went with him for third. So I got 2-1-4.
It all. So we'll just jump to race number 2. Trevor, who do you like in this one?
Well, I got a couple of my own horses in here, and I'll actually give you a little bit of trainer's insight, a little bit of maybe early information. It's Thursday right now. This will air on Saturday. Buck Rogers has been a little bit under the weather for a couple of days. Has had the last 2 days off. The caretaker, Bob, does most of the work with this horse, and obviously noticed something wasn't quite right. So we've shut him down for now, and unless things get miraculously better tomorrow, you can expect a vet scratch in that second race. So that being said, I got to go to the other stablemates in Philly. There's not a whole lot I can say about her. She's just been a treat. So I don't know if most people got a chance to watch that last mile, but it was just a monster trip she went. She was first up super early and never saw the wood, came a back half in a minute and then mowed down probably one of the better fillies here in Millie's Million. So tough to go against her pretty much in any group she's in. So I'll take Philly for first. Zippity Zoom for second. She's just, or he's just another one that, leaves the gate really well, positions himself well, and George has him racing good. So 5 for 5 in the top 3, hard to kick him out. And toss up for third. There's a few that can be there. Corey's got a pair of them, but I'll go to Dennis's horse, Two Shoes. It looks like last line was maybe just to stay flat and don't have to qualify type line, and maybe driven a little more aggressively this week. So I'll say 4-2-3 in the second.
Awesome. What about you, Grady?
Well, I did land on Philly to win. I thought that she raced huge in her last start, as you mentioned. And also, undefeated 3 for 3 is hard to come by anywhere. So I like her to win. For second, I did go to Buck Rogers, but obviously, as you mentioned, not feeling so well. So hope he gets better because I do like watching him race. And for third, I ended up landing on the 2 Zippity Zoom. I like the sire being Sunshine Beach in there, and also, 5 starts, hasn't finished out of the top 3 this year, so gets a good post too. So I like him for third. So I got 4, 6, 2.
Yeah, Trevor, kick us off on this one again.
Yeah, this was a tough race for me. There's a few in here that I think could win. I went for, I guess, a bit of an odds play, but still picked second in the program. I went to Colonel Kelly along the rail just because it looks like Chase My Dust is a little bit hard to handle off the gate and probably going to be leaving. And I don't think Clayton will let him have his own way. So he'll have to probably work to make front, and Clayton will be able to get a really good trip with this one. 2-1 last week, didn't race last week. I don't think any of Clayton's did. So should be fresh. Obviously, I still like Chase My Dust in there, so I'll go with Chase My Dust second. And another one, all of Tara Isman's horses are super, super well bred, really nice looking horses. State Your Case is just another example of a really good filly that I think, with the trip could easily win here, but I'll take her for third.
Perfect. What about you, Grady?
I did land on the 2, Chase My Dust to win. I like that second place finish there in 2 minutes and 4/5 in his first start in Manitoba. So I thought that was quite a way to start it off, and I can only expect him to be even better now that having his second time around in Manitoba. So I got him on top. I went to the 3, Get It Done Bud for second. He does lose the driving services of Daryl Thiessen, but was second and third in his last 2 starts. Hard to go against there. And I went to the 1, Colonel Kelly to win. Shows second place finishes all the way down his lines and gets the rail. So he's definitely a huge factor in this one.
Yeah, of course. Number 5, now we're getting into the kindergarten stakes. 8 will go to Pace. Trevor, who do you like?
Again, another really good race. It's not often we see 8-horse fields in here. I actually believe the 1 horse is going to be scratched. Just looking at the lines, it looks like didn't get qualified after the races. Here in Manitoba, they'll let you enter, and you have until the Monday to get qualified, since our qualifiers are after the races. So that one will be out, which kind of makes it a little bit interesting because everyone will move down to the rail. Don Annis's 7 horse can trail the 1 and the 2, which will now be the 2 and the 3. So I'm assuming he's going to choose to follow out his stablemate in Bits and Bites. And the 8 horse then has to follow out the 4 and the 5 horse. So probably gets away a little further back. So that leads me to believe Daryl will probably be cutting the mile with Bits and Bites. So I'm going to take her to win it. Those miles are just super impressive. 2-3 first lifetime start, and a winner in 2-7 last start. So super hard to beat. I'm going to go with another good colt, AK Up and Adam, for second. I think he'll be forwardly placed too. Tyler has left with it a couple times. So if they get away from the field a little bit, it should be those 2. And coming late, Sassy Libby, I think Mark will probably have to be first up with this one and probably go the toughest trip of them all. So I'll take 3, 4, 8.
Awesome. Grady, what about you?
My top 2 is the same as Trevor's, as I did go with Bits and Bites to win, as I do also think that she will be able to cut the mile. And that last win I thought was quite impressive. It was an eye-opener to me. So I put her on top. For second, I went to the 4, AK Up and Adam as well. I like his lines, very consistent. So I put him for second and have him post 4. And, I didn't want to go with Sassy Libby for third because I thought she was going to have a really tough trip going from the trailing post and on a half-mile track. It won't be easy for her. So I did land on the 5, that being AK Flipper de Bird. Second in all his last 3 starts, gets Michelle Ray. So I put him for third. So I got 3, 4, 5.
And race number 6, Trevor, who do you like?
So Golden Boy Stake. It's hard for me to pick against my own horse. I definitely love his chances here, and if he behaves himself, he is probably as talented or the most talented colt in here. But he definitely has some breaking issues that we need to address. So I'll put him on top of my ticket just because I'm the owner and the trainer and hope he wins the $6,000 purse. But the horse I like for second is probably the horse I'd pick if I wasn't in here. And that's Serial Killer. I think you might get a bit of a price on him just because he's been out of the money for a little bit here. But that mile he went last week was incredible. Run off the gate, spotted them a good 10 lengths or so. Closed in last quarter in 29-3. And if you look at everybody's last quarters last week, I don't know if the track was just a little bit heavy and loose. There was maybe one or two horses that came home under 30 seconds the entire day, and most were 31, 32, 33. So I think that's a super impressive mile. And, he's shown he has a speed and talent. So this could be the week he shows what he's got. And then obviously promised me a win, win in 2 minutes, 2 starts ago. Drive it like you stole it, win in 2 minutes. Like anybody could win this race. So I ended up going to the 3 for third. 263 is my selections, but it's really wide open.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. What about you, Grady?
I did land on Don's Night Owl to win. I really liked his last couple starts there, especially the 1-2 down being a winner in 2, 1, and 4. So I like that one a lot. And then, a third place finish in the futurity elimination is nothing too bad at all. So I like him to win from post 2. For second, I went to the Rail Horse, Drive It Like You Stole It. I was really impressed with his elimination win there in the Manitoba futurity, and I almost put him on top to win, but I figured that Don's Night Owl was the best horse in the race. So I put Drive It Like You Stole It for second. And for third, I went to the 3, Promise Me a Win. I was impressed with his win in 2 minutes and 4/5. There, 2 down, and gets post 3. So I like that one as well. So I got 2, 1, 3.
Race number 7. Trevor, who do you like?
So this race is, again, another tough one. I think it's a really good card this week. Previous weeks I was able to pick winners in 7, 8 of the 10 races, and here it just seems like it's pretty wide open. So I think we're getting to the point in time where classes are really evening up. In here I went to the trailer, Nellie's on the Money, just solely based on the time difference between the group. She seems to like to finish in the money and within the field no matter what time she goes, but 2-1, 2-2 just seems a few seconds better than these. So I had to put her on top. I think, again, she'll follow out her stablemate here in the 2-hole. Clayton probably try and leave out of there with Tagoras. So I'd probably like Tagoras to hang around there for a piece. And another one you can't really throw it is the one you seem to pick every week. Corey's mare, she's bound to throw up a big mile one of these times. And really she fits in here, time-wise, she's just as good as anybody. So I'll take the 2 Clayton horses and Corey for third, 7-2-3.
Perfect. Grady, what about you?
I landed on the 6, Having Fun in the Sun. Some third place finishes there down. Her lines look pretty good. And I did like the 7 in here. Nellie's on the Money, but, having to go from a trailing spot is not an easy thing. So I did go with Having Fun in the Sun to win. For second, I did go to Nellie's on the Money. She looks like she's definitely starting to get better. And so I put her for second. And for third, I went to the Fort Al's Dragon Jack. A little bit of a surprise in here. But, you throw out the last start where he made a break. So, give him another chance. He was third the 3 starts before that. So I'll put him in there for third.
Race number 8, we're getting in the Claimers, which is almost our most exciting race of the day. Trevor, who do you have?
Yeah, Claimers are always pretty exciting. I think this race evens out quite a bit with Liz placed on the outside in the 6th path too, because you never know what's going to happen early on. I'll pick him. Again, he's a super tough old horse. He's actually the barn favorite. One of the gentlemen that's on the team there, Bud, takes care of him every day and has kind of turned him into the barn mascot. So he's always the funnest horse to watch. I think he's going to be tough regardless what kind of trip he gets. So we'll put him on top. Another horse to watch out for is another one of my favorite horses, probably my favorite horse. I owned him for many years, Red Star Tiger. He's another super tough horse, 13 years old now, rarely out of the money. I think he's 4 for 5 in the top 3 this year. I think one of these weeks we'll see some early speed from him again because he does have gate speed. And if he gets near the front, I don't think they beat him either. So 6-5, and really a horse race for third. Chris had to go 3 wide early with Don't Rock the Boat last week. I think if he gets on a helmet a little bit longer, that horse can be there too. So I'll take 6-5-3 in here, but really anybody's race again.
Yeah, of course. Grady, what about you?
I went with 6-2-5. I thought Liz Place was by far the best horse in the race. I really liked his last 2 starts there. And especially last one, he won with authority in his last start. So with that 5-length win. So I put him on top. For second, I went to the 2 Marv the Rat. He drew well in his last start with post 2 and ended up getting paid for it as he was second in 2, 1, and 4. So I'm going to put him for second. And I believe that I have the exact same try as what it came in last week with Red Star Tiger at the bottom of it because he was third in this class last week. So I put him on top. So I got 6-2-5.
Race number 9, Horse and Geldings Open. Who do you have, Trevor?
Well, I got to say, I really like Grady's picks each and every week because he always picks my horses. So I like that. I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see what he takes here. I'll take my horse again, even though that last line is a pretty big dud. Again, that last quarter in 32 and 2 is so uncharacteristic of him. So, made some changes this week. Maybe chalk it up to track condition and hope he's a little bit better. He's just a tough old horse that I hope can, stay close to the lead here and battle it out with a few of them. I like Apoggiatura too. I think he's been knocking on the door, waiting on a win. Second, third, pacing 58, 59, really good miles. Again, another Clayton horse is going to be fresh off the shelf. I think I'll take 3-1 and Sanga Savannah, who, won 2 in a row. And actually, if would have got out a little bit earlier last week, would have beat them all again. So I'll take 3-1-4. Baylor out, the one I'm leaving out, could be the most talented in the race. So I know it's only a 4-horse race, but we could be 4 across.
Yeah, of course. Grady, who do you like in this one?
Well, Trevor's really going to like my picks this week because I actually went with his horse in the top to win in the last 3 races on the card. This one being Read the Proposal. I really like his lines there, showing some 58 and 59s down his lines, a couple of wins, and being very consistent in the open and in this short field. He cut the mile last week and just got beat by his stablemate there. So I put him on top. For second, I went to Sanga Savannah. I actually picked this horse at the start of the year, the very first day. And he ended up winning there 2 starts back in 58 and 2. So a good mile there. So I put him for second. And then I went to the rail sitter Apoggiatura for third there. Looks fairly consistent and showing some decent miles and a lot of starts in the open. So I went with Apoggiatura for third.
Race number 10, Trevor. You got a few in this one. Who do you like?
Yeah, I got a couple horses in here. Again, it was another race where I have trouble picking my horse in it just because Hurry Home has been such a weapon since she came here. It's actually unreal the miles she's went, pacing faster than she was in Calgary, which is probably, 3-4 seconds faster than the track here. So, she could just be a half-mile specialist horse. And, she hasn't really had it her own way either. She's went 58, 59 to the half, been first up and grinded. She's done it all. So I will pick away from her because I have one in here and I will go to Pure Edition. She did beat the boys last week with a good drive from Daryl up the inside. She's, won 3 of 5 this year. In the 2 seconds, she had a really rough journey. So, it's hard to knock her. I just don't know if she's up for the task of Hurry Home yet, but we'll try for her this week. We'll take Hurry Home for second. Hopefully we mow her down the lane. And I'll take my other one, Bold and Sporty, for third. She's another one who, since she's been in our care, she actually hasn't been beat yet other than the start she had to pull up with broken equipment. So who knows? She might get brave and, not let a horse pass either. So I think it'll be another super interesting race with Tammy Blue and a Cowboys Dream in there. I mean, neither of them have really been out of it more than 3-4 lengths too. So another really good card.
Perfect. And Grady, what about you?
I did go with Pure Edition in this one. At the head of the lane last week, all I was thinking was if she gets loose, she's going to fly, because it looked like she was loaded with pace. So she did get loose and did go up the rail for the win. And having won her last 3 starts, it looks like she's as sharp as a tack right now. And so I put her on top. For second, I did go to the 2 Hurry Home. Very impressive so far since coming to Manitoba there with the last couple of wins in sub 2 minutes. So I put her for second. And for third, I did go to the Rail Sitter as well, Bold and Sporty there. She does show a win there, 2 down and 2, 1 and 2. So I went 5-2-1.
Who's there in race number 11, our last one? Trevor, do you like?
So this race I have 2 in it as well. I'm going to go to Glenn to get the job done here. Hard to bet against Glenn. 17 wins on the year. He's been pretty awesome since returning off the shelf for a number of years. He seems to really get along with her. She's won 3 times this summer, and it's been with Glenn aboard all 3. Not to knock the drive Tyler made on her. She just tired a little bit, had a rough trip against Hurry Home. So as of right now, Hurry Home's the only horse to beat her, and she's probably the mare to beat, on the circuit. So hopefully she finds this company a little bit easier and kind of runs away on them a little bit. I'll take my other mare for second. A little piece of my heart. She's been really good since coming here as well. Gets Mitch Ray this week instead of Daryl, and I think he'll place her forwardly as well, and hopefully get a trip near Farmer and maybe race her down the lane too. And for third, Miso Classy, who beat a little piece of my heart last week, kind of got out late. Dean squeezed through and win the race by about a length or so. I think she'll be tough to beat too, but I just don't know what kind of trip she's going to have to work out. Probably have to be first up and do a little bit of work here. So I'll take her for third.
Perfect. And Grady, who do you like in this one?
Well, I have the exact same with 5-2-4. I completely agree with everything Trevor said. So that's just it.